lovely evening to you. It's just gone 8 p.m. and you're watching the main news. I am Zain Jamo. Good evening, Joyce.
Good evening, Zain, and good evening to our viewers. My name is Joyce Mabika. Susan Masona is on sign language. Later on, Marilyn Ngwenya will join us from our Montrose studios in Bulawayo. Let's start off with our leading stories tonight. Zimbabwe said to receive 26,000 metric tons of fertilizer from Russia.
In other stories, ZIMSEC 2023 November advanced level results released.
And in sport, Cote d'Ivoire take on Guinea-Bissau in the opening match of AFCON this Saturday.
And now for the news in detail. Zimbabwe is set to receive 26,000 metric tons of fertilizer from Russia as the Euro-Asian nation moves to alleviate fertilizer supply gaps globally.
The latest development is a fulfillment of a promise made by Russian President Vladimir Putin on the sidelines of the 15th BRICS summit in Johannesburg, South Africa last August. President Putin said his country has scheduled delivery of between 25,000 and 50,000 tons of fertilizer and grain to 6 African countries free of charge. Zimbabwe is among the countries, and a ship with the consignment is currently preparing to dock at the port of Beira in Mozambique. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Road Development, Professor Obed Jiri, confirmed the development.
We are very excited. The ship is now docking in the port of Beira. So the ship is containing fertilizer which was donated to Zimbabwe. We are among the 6 countries in Africa who received this generous donation from the Russian Republic. So for us, it is containing 26,000 metric tons of fertilizers. In there is 9,000 metric tons of calcium ammonium nitrate, so that's for immediate use. And then it also is containing MOP over 16,000 metric tons.
Professor Jiri added that the consignment will go a long way in providing relief to farmers at a time when Zimbabwe is experiencing a lean summer cropping season.
This is coming at an opportune time when we need fertilizer. It is coming at an opportune time where when we are dithering from the effects of the El Nino, which has turned around a bit. So we are going to see crops that were planted in the last month getting fertilizer on time, particularly the top dressing fertilizer. But the muriate of potash is also quite important because now it is going to be prepared for our winter programming again for those of our farmers who benefit from the Presidential Input Support Program.
Russia's initiative was launched after the Black Sea Grain Agreements signed in Istanbul in July 2022 between Russia, Turkey, Ukraine and the United Nations expired in July last year. Zimbabwe and Russia enjoy excellent bilateral and trade relations dating back to the pre-independence era. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Harare.
Production of pig iron at Dinson Iron and Steel Plant in Manise is expected to start in March this year under the first phase of the project. John Nandara filed the following report.
The first phase in the production of pig iron at the Dinson Iron and Steel Plant in Manise will be commissioned during the first quarter of the year as construction of the plant nears completion. Pig iron refers to an intermediate good used in the production of steel. Industry and Commerce Minister Honorable Stembi Sonyoni, who was accompanied by captains of industry, assessed the progress at the plant this Friday. Dinson Iron and Steel Company Project Director Mr. Wilfred Motsi gave an update of the timelines.
We are about to commission the plant. I think by end of the first quarter of this year, that is in March, we'll be starting our first production, which is the pig iron. And then second quarter, which is in about October, we'll be also starting the production of steel billets. And then by October, we will be finally commissioning the whole of phase 1, whereby we'll be producing the steel bars. So in other words, in terms of completion, we're almost there. We are safely said that we're 95% in terms of completion of the ore plant.
Construction of the iron and steel plant will bring upstream and downstream benefits to industry and spur the country's reindustrialization agenda.
When you then look at the downstream benefits to industry, those that use steel as their raw material, those that are into products of steel, for example, bolts and nuts, even those that are doing welding, they will get raw material from here.
We as AVM Africa, we are so impressed. This steel plant is going to go a long way. It's a game changer actually in terms of bus production, because most of the materials on a bus is steel. The bus is made out of steel, with the exception of things like tires and so forth, but the rest is steel. So from what the chairman here was saying, I think it's going to go a long way in terms of improving bus production for the country and for the region.
Honorable Nyoni said the Manize Iron and Steel Plant represents a significant milestone for the country's industrial development and the entire iron and steel value chain.
This is going to be a game changer to our country because it's going to produce the steel that is needed for industry, that is needed for construction, that is needed for transport, So we really are very blessed to have this place.
Progress has also been made in the construction of power lines at the project, which is considered to be one of the biggest iron and steel plants in sub-Saharan Africa. John Nandarang, ZBC News, Manize.
On an exciting note, government is set to introduce 24-hour operations at Forbes border post in Mutare to reduce congestion ahead of the upgrade and expansion of the port of entry.
The long winding queues that have characterized the Forbes border post in Mutare are said to be a thing of the past, with the port of entry operating for 24 hours starting on Monday. This was reviewed by Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructural Development, Engineer Joy Makumbe, who led the border control officials on a tour of Forbes border post this Friday.
In the past, there have been issues where there have been trucks going as far as 20 kilometers into Mutare, and the border was opening up to 10 p.m. So with the view that if you open 24 hours, at least then we can reduce that backlog. So we have immigration here, we have ZIMRA, Health Port Authority, all stakeholders are here. So we have agreed that starting Monday, our border will open 24 hours so that we can at least address the backlog that we have here.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage, Ambassador Rafael Faranis, is optimistic of the success of the border upgrading process.
Starting Monday, we'll be operating 24 hours. We already have experience. By the way, Beit Bridge and Chirundo are already 24-hour border posts, so there shouldn't be too many challenges in terms of how this border post will operate.
The implementing agencies believe the move will decongest the port of entry and improve revenue generation due to increased commercial traffic.
In terms of preparedness, we are ready. In terms of business income for Zimbabwe, it's good. We were estimating if you are going to run 24 hours, we may increase the current 550 exit to about 800 trucks, 24/7. The incoming, we can estimate another 700 incoming. So assuming those 700 is duty-paying consignments, it means the government is going to realize its revenues real time.
In the interim, we're looking at trying to maybe make use of the officers who are based here so that there will be a smooth start.
Government will also expand the Forbes border post in terms of infrastructure, with the Christmas Pass bypass project being part of the immediate key infrastructural developments in Mutare. Kenya's Chivuje, ZBC News, Mutare.
A government has assured white commercial farmers who received offer letters of security of tenure on their land, saying the land reform program was meant for every Zimbabwean.
Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development Minister Dr. Anxious Masuka has put the record straight pertaining to security of tenure for white commercial farmers with offer letters, saying they will not be disturbed. Dr. Masuka clarified the issue during a tour of commercial and communal farming areas in Hurungwe this Thursday, where farmers were impressed by the Pfumvudza and joint venture programs.
5 tons. Pakutanga paya ndaiwana 2 tons.
And we're actually grateful for the provision of my JVs because sure, information, even skill. Before the JV, we were less skilled than we are right now.
Mashonaland West Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Marian Chombo, emphasized the need to expedite the disbursement of the remaining input components under its support schemes.
Zvichitaurwa kuti vanhu vakapiwa mbeu vakati wandei pane vakazowana mafertilizer. So ndicho chichemo chimwe chiri kunetsa muri yedu yemuno Mashi West yekuti hatina kukwanisa kuwana mafertilizer akati kwane zvekuti kana muchikwanisa kumaona mhanyisai auye kuno.
Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development Minister Dr. Anxious Masuka said government respects security of tenure for white commercial farmers with offer letters.
Land reform is irreversible. Land reform is irreversible. Saka tatora vhusa izvozvo chasara varungu vashoma vakasara mumapurazi vamunoona ndo vakanga vachititsigira ndo vatakati ivavo ngavasare takavapa mapepa haikona kunovavhundusira.
Mashonaland West Province is considered the country's breadbasket. Regis Marco, ZBC News, Urungwe.
The ruling ZANU-PF party has pledged to spearhead urban renewal in the wake of the rot in the city of Harare, which has gone unchecked for more than 2 decades under opposition leadership.
His first media briefing of the year, ZANU-PF spokesperson Ambassador Christopher Mchangwa said Operation Chenesa Harare indicates the ruling party's commitment to urban development.
Everybody sees the decay which the towns have befallen into. Whilst the president was having on leave, he was also busy in the background directing his ministers in an Operation Cheneso Harare. And you are seeing graphic pictures of the amount of garbage which has been collected over the decades, which now requires yellow equipment to move tons and tons of garbage, which was afflicting our neighborhoods, our suburbs, our wards, as if there was no town father, city father, as if there was no town councillor. They let the cities rot. But look, the president says whether you are CCC or not, you are a Zimbabwean citizen, whether you are ZANU-PF or not, you are a Zimbabwean citizen. The initiatives which is carrying out all over the country to change the day-to-day life of the economic of the people of Zimbabwe, he wants them to be enjoyed by every Zimbabwean, regardless of your political affiliation. Because when it comes to the welfare of the Zimbabwean people, the president and ZANU-PF says it sees no distinction about party loyalties. That's why you saw Minister Chitando with his Civil Protection Bureau working full-time during the holidays. You see Minister Masuka working full-time to see that Harare has got water, and now they are taking this Cheneso Harare to Cheneso Zimbabwe. They are taking it countrywide.
The ruling party is geared towards increasing economic activity with neighboring countries.
You saw the president at the turn of the year with his counterpart Nyusi riding on a train. Mozambique has renovated the railway, which was closed in 1974-75 because of the war. I know the story. Now the Mozambicans are at the border, Machipanda. They are impatiently waiting for the Zimbabwe side to come and join the party. You can see the restoration of the Mozambican ports to service the Zimbabwean plateau, the Zimbabwean economy. Why? Because the president has created a new economic hinterland within Zimbabwe, which makes it feasible for Mozambique to start attracting big-ticket investments for the logistics, which needs to export the goods being produced in Zimbabwe for the global market at the cheapest possible price. You will be happy There will be 2 new terminals being built in Beira by a big investor who is in Zimbabwe, Tsingshan, the global steel company. There is a new port 40 kilometers north of Beira being designed. And hopefully this year when the president goes to China, we may get more support from China for the building of a new port in Mozambique.
Ambassador Mchangwa applauded South Africa for its stance on the Gaza attacks while congratulating the African National Congress for its 112th anniversary.
I will kick off from that praise of the ANC by hailing them for the bold decision of global conscience by the ANC to take the genocidal practices of Israel to the International Court of Justice. Wasn't it a source of pride yesterday to see South African jurists presenting their case in solidarity with the Palestinians at the International Court of Justice?
Ambassador Mchangwa also indicated that the Zimbabwe National Liberation War Veterans Association will conduct elections this year on a date to be advised. Wellington Makonese, ZBC News, Harare.
Candidates vying for the Goromonzi South National Assembly seat in by-elections set for next month are focusing on transforming people's lives in line with the country's inclusive development agenda.
With less than 3 weeks left before the February 3 by-election, candidates representing political parties in Goromonzi South are on the ground canvassing for support, with the transformation a priority. Mr. Ruben Chikudo, who is representing Citizens Coalition for Change, says he is ready for the task at hand.
We have to create and amend laws that support development in Goromonzi South and also countrywide.
ZANU-PF candidate Comrade Washington Janda is focusing on infrastructure development.
In the event yekuti ndapinda muparliament, chokutanga imvura, kugadzira maroads, hamuna maroads ari proper. Iko zvito zvimapotholes akazara ari everywhere. Zvikoro tine dambudziko zvikoro zvishoma, especially in Caledonia, hamuna zvikoro zvachose. Caledonia musha mukuru une over 80,000. Asi zvikoro hamuna. Saka chokutanga kuvaka zvikoro, kuvaka maclinics, kugadzira maroads, kuisa mvura.
Record legislator Stephen Chagwiza refused to speak to ZBC News, saying he is still bitter over what he termed an unfair recall from Parliament. 6 by-elections will be held on the 3rd of February after Triple C legislators were recalled by the opposition party's interim Secretary General Sengezo Chabangu. Gerald Sasa, ZBC News, Goromonzi.
Meanwhile, government is satisfied with the progress in the turnaround of the tourism sector after domestic tourism figures increased significantly during the festive season, with various destinations recording an influx of guests.
Through its hashtag Uripi Ungapi campaign, the Minister of Tourism and Hospitality Industry and the Zimbabwe Tourism Authority enticed Zimbabweans to visit prime tourism destinations in the country. The campaign, which began late last year, also witnessed the first family endorsing domestic travel after visiting the Eastern Highlands. Not only did ports of entry and airports record a significant number of human traffic, but room occupancy in hotels and lodges got a fair bite of the cake. Speaking on the campaign's results and objectives, Tourism and Hospitality Industry Minister Honorable Barbara Rodzi highlighted the significance of continuous marketing of tourism products to foster a culture of travel and investment.
Local occupants in Victoria Falls for the locals was 81%, and foreign was 19%. Kariba was 100%, and there was no foreign visitor during the days in question of Christmas. And then Eastern Highlands, 93% were locals and 7% were internationals. Mashingo, 100% were locals and there were no international. That's why we were saying every journey leads you home. Home is Zimbabwe. We wanted Zimbabweans to know that it's time for festive. Let's gather together, come out, do activities together and go travel across the country together. Hence, the occupants of the hotels were high because of our locals. So for us, it was a plus.
The campaign also comes as the country is targeting a 5 billion tourism industry by 2025. Memory Chamisa, ZBC News, Harare.
More than 1,600 students have graduated under the Zimbabwe Open University Angel of Hope Foundation empowerment programs.
It was joy and jubilation at the ceremony in Hwange this Thursday, with graduates expressing gratitude to the First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, for the empowerment programs.
Surely you have given hope unto us, and we want to thank God for what you have done. Knowledge is power, like it has been said. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
I just want to thank the First Lady for this opportunity and Mark North for coming here and just educating the women in this province.
Namhlanje jabule kakhulu ngoba ukubuya kwami kule Nkosi eyaqalwa ngumama Auxilia Mnangagwa inceda omama abanjengami abakhulileyo ngoba khathesi I'm 57 but ukufunda kuphela.
The Zimbabwe Open University says the training program is meant to transform lives.
The Zoo management is proud and will never regret the decision to cooperate and work with you, because these short programs are noble indeed. These courses or training programs have added value to people who have been left out in society, people who have been excluded because of economic conditions or social factors.
The First Lady, who was represented by Matabeleland North Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Richard Moyo, paid tribute to the Partnership for Empowering Communities.
Indeed, I have personally witnessed and testimonially shared with my office illuminate feeling of great joy and celebration in my heart. Truly, I am deeply humbled by such unwavering support that contributes to the thriving of Angel of Hope Foundation Zoo Partnership for Community Empowerment through Open Learning. Thank you, we are in it together. Inclusive human capital development that leaves no one and no place behind, guarantees enhanced and sustainable living standards of community members as the country strives towards the attainment of a prosperous and empowered upper middle income society by 2028.
The first intake in 2017 saw 726 beneficiaries receiving certificates in 5 short courses, which include agriculture, cultural heritage, entrepreneurship and business management, as well as early childhood development and basic computer literacy. The intake also saw a further 3 courses, which included basic counseling, basic records management and basic nurse aid palliative care for the elderly being added. Plans are afoot to include health behavior as well as disability management and sign language once experts are secured. Mhlomuli Ncube, ZBC News, Hwange.
We say congratulations to the graduates, and these and more stories are available on our website. It is www.zbcnews.co.zw.
Or you could visit us on our social media platforms, that is at ZBC News Online.
Still to come in this bulletin. ZIMSEC 2023 November Advanced Level results released.
In sports, Cote d'Ivoire take on Guinea-Bissau in the opening match of AFCON this Saturday.
We're off to a break. Join us shortly, right after this.
disconnected from the rest of the world? Reconnect with the hottest entertainment source on the continent. Dust off your DSTV decoder and get connected to non-stop sport. Kids channels for all ages, a local scene like no other, and international movies and series that'll blow you away. Don't get left behind. Download the My DSTV app to pick the package that's right for your family and your pocket, and reconnect today. DSTV, it's your moment.
Stay in touch without visiting a NASA office. Your time is important. That is why we value it. Simply dial 402 to access assistance from wherever you are. We encourage making use of our self-service portal on https://selfservice.nasa.org.zw, our social media handle at NASAZW, or send us an email on contactcenter@nasa.org.zw.
From the school that has been top in the country in Cambridge GCE and ZIMSEC examinations, powered by teachers who have dedicatedly produced results for the country, mostly in the sciences domain, led by Mrs. Edith Mukwapasi, who has over 30 years experience and excellence in the teaching field. Online lessons for 2024 O and A-level revision classes in chemistry, maths, physics, and biology are now underway from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Friday. This includes monthly practical lessons. Non-candidate packages are also available. Gnostics Group of Schools, making STEM subjects accessible so that the many sidelined children can fulfill their dreams.
Welcome back. You are still watching the main news. The Zimbabwe School Examinations Council ZIMSEC 2023 November advanced level results are out.
ZIMSEC board chairperson Professor Edingwenje announced the results in a media briefing in Harare this Friday, where he noted a 6.6% increase in the pass rate. He said pass rate improved to 94.60% in November 2023 compared to 88% in 2022.
The Zimbabwe School Examination Council Board and Management would like to advise the nation of the release of the 2023 November Advanced Level Examination results. With effect from today, 12 January 2024, 1500 hours, Advanced Level Examination candidates' results will be accessible to all candidates and authorized personnel online through the ZIMSEC portal, accessed through the ZIMSEC website, www.zimsec.co.zw. Please take note that this portal will be open for 5 days only. Heads of examination centers will be able to collect the results for their respective schools, centers from our regional offices on Monday, the 15th of January, 2024. The number of candidates who set for the November 2023 examinations was 34,437 as compared to 36,945 in November 2022. There was a decrease of 6.79% in the candidature. In November 2023, 34,060 wrote 2 or more subjects compared to 36,385 in 2022. For those who wrote 2 or more subjects, 32,221 obtained grade E or better. This translates to a pass rate of 94.60% compared to 88% pass rate in November 2022.
female candidates performed marginally better than their male candidates.
The total number of female school candidates who sat for 2 or more subjects in November 2023 advanced level examinations was 15,141 as compared to 15,503 who sat in November 2022. Of this number, 14,594 passed 2 or more subjects, yielding a 96.38% pass rate, while in November 2022, 14,193 passed 2 or more subjects, yielding a 92.32% pass rate. This translates to a percentage increase of 4.06%.
Meanwhile, Permanent Secretary for Primary and Secondary Education, Mr. Moses Mike, says it is an offense for any learning institution to withhold results due to non-payment of school fees.
There is really no policy of withholding results of any candidate, be it at grade 7, O-level and A-level. It is very clear, the ministry has been pronouncing that emphatically to say it's a big no. To us, withdrawing results for our candidates is a violation of their rights.
Candidates can access the results online on the ZIMSEC portal. Heads of examination centers can start collecting the results from ZIMSEC regional offices on Monday. Tarema Duyu, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, what an amazing, brilliant pass rate there. We now connect you to our Montrose studios where Marilyn is on standby to continue with the news. It's over to you, Marilyn, and it's good night. Good evening, rather.
Good evening and many thanks to you, Zane. And in our following report, the ZANU-PF campaign team descended on Sizinda suburb in Pelandaba Chabalala constituency this Friday, where the electorate was encouraged to vote for the ruling party in by-elections set for the 3rd of next month.
In his Gasta Approach campaign in Sizinda suburb of Bulawayo this Friday, ZANU-PF candidate for Pelandaba Chabalala constituency, Comrade Joseph Chuma, reminded the electorate that the ruling party is well equipped to drive the national development agenda.
Ibandla elibusayo lapha eZimbabwe kwanesikweni iZANU-PF angithi. So iZANU-PF nxa kuyilo ibandla elibusayo yiyo eforme igovernment angithi. Pho kuyabe kusizani ke ukuthi lina la bese lifuna ukuvotela iopposition engasoze ibe le connection la ngapi lo hulumende omela bese intuthuko ngapha angithi. Come 3 February isikhathi sokwenza ama correction angithi.
He said ZANU-PF as the governing party has the ability to transform the lives of people in line with President Emmerson Mnangagwa's inclusive development mantra. The February 3 by-election was necessitated by the recalling of parliamentarians by Citizens Coalition for Change Interim Secretary General Mr. Sengezo Chabangu. Sifiso Spanda, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Chiredzi district is set to establish a modern Better Schools program Zimbabwe Education Resource Center, with the first phase expected to be complete by June this year. The Chiredzi District Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education embarked on construction of a modern resource center in 2014 with the assistance of community members. The first phase of the complex, which is almost complete, will house a library which will cater for surrounding schools and the community. It will also include a boardroom, computer lab, and offices for staff members. School heads who spoke to this news crew concur the resource center will promote educational development in the district.
Chivakwa ichi chatibatsira maticha achiuya achita workshop chidzidzisiwa ine ku head office pama developments anosangisa kuti vana learners vando improve.
We have a library which is going to be used by the primary sector, the secondary sector, and it is going to stretch up to tertiary level, where our community is going to benefit through the library as a reading and learning center.
Our intention is to build a state-of-the-art education center in the district, which is going to benefit not only us as education officers, but also the community at large.
Chiredzi District Schools Inspector Mrs. Petronella Nyangwe weighed in, saying the project is a result of commitment, hard work and generosity of the community.
I want to thank the parents of Chiredzi
who have primarily been funding this program.
Apart from serving as a training and capacity building center for teachers and learners, the Resource Center is also expected to enhance implementation of the competence-based education curriculum. Gay Matambo, ZBC News, Chirezi.
Young miners are taking a proactive approach in ensuring safety standards are adhered to during the rainy season, which has become synonymous with a mineshaft collapse.
The recent increase in mining-related accidents has jolted the Young Miners Foundation into action, with the organization advocating for safe mining practices.
Safety is not only about wearing PPE. All our young miners are wearing PPE. All of this they understand. But now we have to come in with our engineers who help in with our rehabilitation, engineering techniques, behavior-based techniques as well, because as you know, for an accident to happen, there would have been about 300 near misses or a sign that says, no, this could have happened, and we ignore that.
The issue of putting in place monitoring mechanisms to ensure laid down safety standards are observed was also topical.
We offer trainings and education for our member miners. We have also partnered with the Zimbabwe School of Mines. We send our members to Zimbabwe School of Mines, then they are trained on how they can actually perform their operations better. The major challenge is being faced by young miners. These are just, most of them are just young graduates, and they don't have access to funding. So most of them end up carrying out shortcuts. So if there is proper funding, they can actually do safer mining methods.
Established in 2010, the Young Miners Foundation is made up of 2,300 members between the ages of 18 to 35, with 500 of them being active miners. The recent efforts come after the 15 miners were successfully rescued after being trapped underground for days following a mineshaft collapse at Red Wing Mine in Penalonga. Farai Gwaze, ZBC News, Harare.
Interesting to see that the young miners are taking a proactive approach right there. And now it's back to the team at Pocket Hill Studios in Harare, where Zane is on standby. Zane, it's back to you.
Thank you to the team in Montrose. We bring it back home to the capital, where we continue with the news and jump straight into the next report. The ruling in the matter in which Citizens Coalition for Change senior officials Job Skala and Lovemore Maiko are accused of attacking ZANU-PF supporters is now expected to be delivered on the 26th of this month.
Postponed after the state and defense failed to submit written closing submissions to support evidence presented during the trial. The state, however, went on to serve the magistrate and the defense with its closing written submissions before the morning session adjourned, while the defense indicated that it will submit on Tuesday next week. The magistrate deferred her ruling to the 26th of this month. Skala and Maiko are accused of attacking ZANU-PF supporters at a political gathering in Chitungwiza in 2022. It emerged during the trial that Maiko confirmed Skala's presence at the crime scene on the day in question, contrary to his initial defense outline. Skala has several other cases before the courts, which are at various stages of prosecution. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
Beyond our country's borders, churches in Zambia have been ordered to limit their time of worship to 2 hours as part of measures to curb the spread of cholera.
Reports say perishable and ready-to-eat foods have been banned in all churches, along with handshakes and hugs, to reduce the risk of spreading the disease. Zambia's health sector has also ordered worship centers to provide safe drinking water, hand washing points, as well as alcohol-based hand sanitizers to their members. More than 7,800 cholera cases have been reported in Zambia since October last year. More than 400 new cases and 18 deaths have been recorded in the last 24 hours.
Cape Verde has been declared malaria-free for the first time in 50 years by the World Health Organization, WHO. The country has not reported a single case of local transmission in 3 years, and experts have described it as a major achievement. Malaria is a huge killer on the continent, with 580,000 people being killed in 2022. Health experts say Cape Verde's achievement sets a big example for other small countries on the continent, showing that containment and elimination policies can work. The last country in sub-Saharan Africa to be declared malaria-free was the island nation of Mauritius in 1973. Algeria and North Africa achieved this status in 2019.
Israel says South Africa has distorted the truth in its case to the International Court of Justice, where it is accusing Tel Aviv of genocide. In his opening remarks this Friday, Tal Becker, who is representing Israel, told the court South Africa has put before the court a profoundly distorted factual and legal picture whose case hinges on deliberately curated, decontextualized, and manipulative description of the reality of the current hostilities. South Africa says Israel is committing genocide against the Palestinians in its war in Gaza. It is also asking the court to order Israel to halt its military activity. South Africa asserts that Israel is in violation of the 1949 Genocide Convention, to which the two states are signatories and which commits parties to prevent genocide. Israel has been waging war against Hamas since the 7th of October last year, when hundreds of Hamas gunmen invaded Israel, killing about 1,300 people and taking some 240 others back to Gaza as hostages.
News takes a break. We'll be back shortly with business news.
I'm gonna tell you why my clothes look bright. I'm gonna tell you why my clothes look clean. Tell you why they smell so nice. I'm feeling fresh, you know what I mean. It's got a little bit of oxy, bleach with a nice perfume that will leave your clothes looking rich and have you feeling good. Aloha, yeah. Aloha. You need to try Aloha.
Aloha washing powder. Say hello to fresh. The Liquor Licensing Board under the Ministry of Local Government and Public Works is now accepting renewals for the fiscal year 2024 to 2025. Remember, all applications are done online at zimeservices.pfms.gov.zw. Simply attach A. Copy of the current license, B. ZBC radio or TV license, which is available at any ZBC office nationwide, and C. Health inspection report. For a liquor license, you need the following: 1. Letter of approval by local authority. 2. Health inspection report. 3. Copy of the approved plan. 4. Evidence of right of occupation. 5. Proof of publication in the Government Gazette and in the local paper LG1. 6. Affidavit. 7. Certified ID or passport for the licensee and the manager. 8. Company resolution and CR14 form. 9. Police clearance for the licensee and the manager. For more information, contact 0242 704 571. Renew your liquor license and watch your business grow.
Feeling a little disconnected from the rest of the world? Reconnect with the hottest entertainment source on the continent. Dust off your DSTV decoder and get connected to non-stop sport. Kids channels for all ages, a local scene like no other, and international movies and series that'll blow you away. Don't get left behind. Download the My DSTV app to pick the package that's right for your family and your pocket, and reconnect today. DSTV, it's your moment.
Welcome back. We jump straight into business, where captains of industry and commerce are advocating for policy consistency by fiscal and monetary authorities to ensure proper planning, preserve value for money, and sustain operations.
This comes ahead of the 2024 monetary policy, with the Institute of Chartered Marketers in Zimbabwe President Mr. Shem Hokonya saying authorities must walk the talk on policy measures.
The government needs to walk the talk. And they need to tighten the money supply so that we avoid inflationary pressures from the market.
Pan-African Chamber of Commerce Board member Mr. Langton Mabanga spoke on the need for the monetary policy to be aligned with the national budget to realize common goals.
Let's follow where the other successful economies that saw their economic miracles have traversed. Entrepreneurship is where India took from, is where Korea took from, is where Singapore took from. Let's build, let's promote entrepreneurs. Let's create an economic system. Let's create macroeconomic fundamentals that favor, that support local entrepreneurs.
Crystal Kendi, Managing Director, Mr. Jimmy Silos, suggested that a monitoring and evaluation team is necessary to ensure set objectives are achieved.
We hope that the statement will remove any remaining obstacles to the creation of a fully functional interbank market. A fully functional interbank market will bring foreign exchange trading out of the murky parallel market and fully into the formal system, leading to much better visibility, much better stability, and full availability of foreign exchange in the official system. So that's what we're hoping for in the January 2024 monetary policy statement.
Zimbabwe is this year expecting a more than 3% growth rate driven by mining, tourism, manufacturing, construction, and agriculture. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
And that's our business update for this evening, taking us to the arts. Zimbabwean artists based in the diaspora are set to participate at the All Africa Festival slated for Abu Dhabi next month. More than 30 renowned African artists will perform at the festival, which will be held from the 2nd to the 4th of next month.
Dubbed the largest African event in the United Arab Emirates, the All Africa Festival seeks to showcase Afrocentrism at its best on the global stage.
The All Africa Festival is taking place in Abu Dhabi from the 2nd to the 4th of February. So it's a couple more days, it's literally 3 weeks away. And it is a celebration of the African culture and all its vibrant expressions in the UAE. It's really music, arts, culture, food. It's a celebration of the essence of the continent of Africa through its people in the UAE.
The festival has a list of 35 renowned African artists and DJs, including Zimbabwe's Shasha.
Last year we had Gemma Griffith took to the stage. She was one of the performers. This year we have Hilary Hillsmat, who will be taken to the stage at the festival. We also have Barita. We also have self-proclaimed Queen of Amapiano, Shasha. From a DJ setting, we've got DJ C-Boy, also Zimbabwean born and raised, living in Dubai, who has really grown and come out on the entertainment scene as a personality in that space. I can speak to Tando Magumise. She is one of the co-founders of the Africa Fashion Week, and she will be looking after the fashion pillar at the festival.
I must say I'm really fortunate to be part of the All Africa Festival that's happening at the Etihad Park, Yas Island in Abu Dhabi. It's definitely an honor, a blessing, a tremendous blessing to be part of this show, in that it really offers opportunity for my music to have an audience, local audience as well as an international audience.
The 3-day festival attracts over 8,000 people from across the world to experience Africa's diversity and culture through the continent's most creative artists. Farai Gwaze, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, that sounds like a very exciting festival. However, with the year 2024 still in its infancy and most musicians recharging their batteries after festive season gigs, the second week of the year will be a bit subdued with very few artists performing around the capital.
While most musicians are taking a break, all eyes will be in Vietnam, where Zimbabwean beauty Kudzai Matisha will be representing Zimbabwe at the Miss Global preliminaries this Saturday. Matisha will be battling it out with more than 70 other beauties around the world. The finals will be held in Cambodia on the 21st of this month. Still in entertainment, talented singer and writer Hope Masike will unveil her 4th book titled Our Sacred Place, which she revealed on her social media pages this Wednesday.
Elsewhere, this Friday, various artists, including Tatinda Mangami and the club band, will provide entertainment at restaurants around Harare. Patience Nyagato, SABC News, Harare.
And that reporter taking us to a break. When we return, Larry Trusida will join us for the latest in sport. Stay with us.
The 34th edition of the CAF Africa Cup of Nations kicks off this.
Maita shava mofiye mkono ziwewera hekani mutekedza vakatekedzana pajanga vakapiwa vakadzi munyika yavanjanja hekani mutekedza vari uhera mukonde zvaitwa mukahuro vemiswe inochenga miviri zienda nechikaka mutunhu une mago vanovangira vashuravhu kutsivira mutumbi chida varume vanovhimwa nevanonyanga vasakamo.
ZBC Current Affairs, leading the conversation on local, regional and international news. We bring you the stories that shape the nation and the world. Be it social trends, economic and political developments, State of the Nation addresses, independence celebrations, Heroes and Defense Forces Day commemorations, and other national events. We bring them to you as they happen. With an array of informative programming, we bring you face-to-face with the decision makers as we unpack complex issues, giving you a platform to be part of the conversation. You can choose to face the nation and combat crime while talking farming. But remember,
oh, I feel clean, so fresh and so clean, no stain on me, check my hygiene, there's no dirt in my life.
Boom, turning your house into a home.
The Farm Shop Shamaria Hurudza promotion is back. Yebo yes, and this time we are rewarding our customers in a big way.
The grand prize is a 25 horsepower tractor plus implements.
Come and get NTS Macy's 10 kg hybrid or 20 of OPV. Come invest in your farming needs, 2 bags of AN and 2 bags of Compound G. Brought to you by Farm Shop Shamari Hurudza.
The meaning of life is not to simply exist, but to move ahead, to rise up and achieve, to conquer. Introducing Kung Fu Energy Drink, your push for the next conquests. Kung Fu Energy Drink, master the power.
Good evening and thank you so much for joining us on Sports News on a Friday evening. My name is Lawrence Atrusida and here is a proper weekend guide. We start off with football where the 34th edition of the Africa Cup of Nations kicks off this Saturday in Cote d'Ivoire with hosts taking on Guinea-Bissau.
Africa vibrates to the rhythm of AFCON 2023 this Saturday as the continent's finest footballers go on shore in Cote d'Ivoire. 24 nations will play 52 matches in 5 cities, illustrating how the tournament has grown from the first edition in 1957, which had 3 countries, Sudan, Egypt, and Ethiopia. Egypt are the most successful country in the history of AFCON with 7 titles, while they have also played in the most finals. The Pharaohs have played in 9 finals at the AFCON, a record they share with Ghana, who have gone on to win the tournament 4 times. Egypt's Ahmed Hassan and Cameroon's Rigobert Song hold the record for the most number of AFCON appearances, having featured at 8 AFCON tournaments. Ghana's Andre Ayew will join that league if he plays in Cote d'Ivoire. The 24 teams at the 2023 edition are placed in 6 groups, where top 2 teams in each group will advance to the last 16, alongside the 4 best-ranked third-placed teams. Host Cote d'Ivoire, who are one of the favourites, kick off the tournament with a date against Guinea-Bissau, a side that has never won a match in their previous appearances. The Elephants are hoping to emulate the class of 1984 by launching their campaign with a big win as the host. 39 years ago, Cote d'Ivoire thrashed Togo 3-0 in Abidjan in the opening match of the tournament. Cote d'Ivoire are generally strong starters as they are undefeated in the opening match at AFCON in the last 12 tournaments with 7 wins and 5 draws. The hosts are in form, having scored 16 goals in their last 3 matches, while their opponents have failed to score in the previous 2 AFCON appearances.
We certainly look forward to a great tournament. Coming home, the FIFA Normalization Committee is racing against time to implement the FIFA-prescribed reforms before its mandate expires on the 30th of June.
The FIFA Normalization Committee, NC, came into being last year after the World Football Governing Body, FIFA, lifted Zimbabwe's suspension from international football. The NC was given a clear mandate to restructure the FIFA administration, review the local football mother body statutes and electoral code to ensure compliance with the FIFA statutes and requirements. It is also expected to act as an electoral committee to organize and conduct elections to usher in a new FIFA board based on the newly aligned FIFA statutes and electoral code, among other requirements. In a media briefing in Harare this Friday, NC chairperson Lincoln Mutasa admitted they are racing against time to implement the constitutional review process, which will pave way for elections.
We were given the mandate to re-look at the constitution and to change it as how we see fit. But what we will then do, we will then go back to the constituted members and see if they like the changes or not. Basically, what's happening with the constitutional review is they want it to be aligned with FIFA statutes as well as CAF. So that's basically what we're looking at. Ultimately, that roadmap, we still have to sit down as an NC and then we have to discuss it with FIFA.
A constitutional review process usually takes time as it involves a number of stakeholders and entities, while there is also need to check if the new statutes align with the country's constitution, the SRC Act, as well as the FIFA statutes. After the constitutional process is concluded, the NC will then engage FIFA for approval. Once approved, the electoral process will then start with the elections starting from area zone up to the FIFA board. These processes are likely to go beyond 30 June when the Normalization Committee's mandate is supposed to end. As ZBC News has since established that normalization committees in Ghana, Namibia, Pakistan, Egypt, Trinidad and Tobago have all failed to conclude their mandate within the stipulated timeframes, and FIFA yet to extend their tenures.
Still with football, on to said news now. A veteran football administrator, Simeon Jamanda, has died. He was 60. Jamanda, who died this Thursday evening, was influential in the formation of the now defunct Blackpool Football Club, where he worked with the likes of Ronnie Chiota, Joe Salif and Ben Mucheza, among others. After the collapse of Blackpool, he joined Motor Action as the chief of protocol before becoming the club's vice chairperson. Jamanda also worked with the Zimbabwe Football Association, representing fans under Rafiq Khan and Cuthbert Dube. He lives behind a wife and 6 children. Monarchs are gathered at number 15704 Sunningdale 2 in Harare. And we definitely say, may his soul rest in peace. Moving on, we now go on to the weather. That's all we managed to have for you in Sports News today.
Hello viewers, thank you so much for joining us on tonight's weather report and forecast courtesy of the Met Department. I'm Linia. We had quite some substantial moisture in the country yesterday, and we had some significant rainfalls, mostly over the northern provinces of Zimbabwe. Lupane the highest with 49 millimeters in 24 hours, Kotwa 13.8, Akchuras 29, Chipinge and Kanyemba 20 millimeters in 24 hours respectively. We had other numerous falls, but they were less than 20 millimeters. Satellite images taken today clearly shows us the abundance of moisture in the country due to this westerly wave or westerly cloud band that's moving in to affect the country, and also moisture coming from the north, that is southern Zambia, coming into Zimbabwe, and this will result in some thunderstorm activity tonight in some parts of the country, and tomorrow we should be seeing this system still affecting the country, and we should be seeing some cloudy conditions in most parts of Zimbabwe with some thunderstorm activity and localized heavy downpours in places, especially over Matabeleland North and as well as Matabeleland South and the northeastern part of Zimbabwe. Otherwise, the central part of the country should be seeing some rainfall activity, though it should be lesser than the other parts of the country. Detailed temperatures for the major cities clearly shows us that our temperatures are more or less like what we experienced today. Most of the daytime temperatures are expected to lie mostly in the upper 20s and lower 30s, generally warm in most parts of Zimbabwe, and that includes Harare, Bulawayo, Gweru, Mutare, Kwekwe and Kadoma. For the other set of major cities, we're also expecting our temperatures to be mostly in the lower 30s and upper 20s. In this set of towns, the highest temperature is expected to be in Gwanda with 32 degrees Celsius, and thunderstorm activity is also expected with a localized heavy downpours, highly likely in Gwanda. Let's have a look at the holiday resort towns, where we're anticipating again temperatures to be more or less in the warm category, with our temperatures mostly in the lower 30s and upper 20s. Of course, the highest in this set of towns is Kariba with 35 degrees Celsius in the afternoon. And for Kariba, that's warm conditions. And we are anticipating Matopos to have at least more rainfall than these other cities. Let's look into the outlook period, where we are expecting Sunday to be cloudy in most parts of the country, becoming less cloudy as the day progresses, with of course rainfall expected to persist with more rains over the northwestern part of the country, and isolated thunder showers expected in places because of the moisture. Otherwise, that's all we have from the weather desk. Do you have a pleasant viewing and a good night.
Well, that caps tonight's bulletin from all of us here. It's good night.
Good night.
League title, much was expected of Arsenal when the new campaign opened. Indeed, Arsenal fulfilled expectations.